The perfection of art is to conceal art. A liar should have a good memory. When defeat is inevitable, it is wisest to yield. We must form our minds by reading deep rather than wide. Those who wish to appear wise among fools, among the wise seem foolish. We excuse our sloth under the pretext of difficulty. Whilst we deliberate how to begin a thing, it grows too late to begin it. The mind is exercised by the variety and multiplicity of the subject matter, while the character is molded by the contemplation of virtue and vice. God, that all-powerful creator of nature and architect of the world, has impressed man with no character so proper to distinguish him from other animals, as by the faculty of speech. Everything that has a beginning comes to an end. A laugh costs too much when bought at the expense of virtue. While we are making up our minds as to when we shall begin, the opportunity is lost. Consequently, the student who is devoid of talent will derive no more profit from this work than barren soil from a treatise on agriculture. Our minds are like our stomachs. They are whetted by the change of their food, and variety supplies both with fresh appetite. Verse satire indeed is entirely our own. To my mind, the boy who gives least promise is one in whom the critical faculty develops in advance of the imagination. To swear, except when necessary, is becoming to an honorable man. Nothing is more dangerous to men than a sudden change of fortune. The prosperous cannot easily form a right idea of misery. While we are examining into everything, we sometimes find truth where we least expected it. Though ambition in itself is a vice, yet it is often the parent of virtues. It is much easier to try one's hand at many things than to concentrate one's powers on one thing. For the mind is all the easier to teach before it is set. It is worthwhile too to warn the teacher that undue severity in correcting faults is liable at times to discourage a boy's mind from effort. It is the nurse that the child first hears, and her words that he will first attempt to imitate. A laugh, if purchased at the expense of propriety, costs too much. In almost everything, experience is more valuable than precept. Men, even when alone, lighten their labors by song, however rude it may be. It is fitting that a liar should be a man of good memory. Where evil habits are once settled, they are more easily broken than mended. Forbidden pleasures alone are loved immoderately. When lawful, they do not excite desire. The gifts of nature are infinite in their variety, and mind differs from mind almost as much as body from body. He who speaks evil only differs from his who does evil in that he lacks opportunity. That which prematurely arrives at perfection soon perishes. Vain hopes are like certain dreams of those who wake. It seldom happens that a premature shoot of genius ever arrives at maturity. For it would have been better that man should have been born dumb, nay, void of all reason, rather than that he should employ the gifts of providence to the destruction of his neighbor. Fear of the future is worse than one's present fortune. Without natural gifts, technical rules are useless. As regards parents, I should like to see them as highly educated as possible, and I do not restrict this remark to fathers alone. Though ambition itself be a vice, yet it is oftentimes the cause of virtues. When we cannot hope to win, it is an advantage to yield. Nature herself has never attempted to effect great changes rapidly. The pretended admission of a fault on our part creates an excellent impression.